chairman of the Society for the Heritage of World War I in Israel. We're participating in many different events commemorating the events of the World War in our region. And thank God we have a very strong connection with the Australians, both directly with the embassy and through the Australian Light Horse Association, which is a sister organization of our society. But I do want to go back to Beersheba, and that's the purpose of why I'm here for this 2 weeks. We're promoting over to bring to the land of Israel and to Beersheba as many Australians as possible. And I must say, to my astonishment, I found out over the last couple of days that the name Beersheba is quite well known. But the meanings and what happened there, not necessarily so, which was very surprising to me because I thought it was better understood. And I was quite surprised to find that it wasn't that much. Most people also are unaware here that when we talk about AIJAC in Palestine, we're not talking about AIJAC. We're talking about Australians. And there were many types of Australian forces that were active in the land of Israel during the World War. AIJAC was just one of the 2 cavalry divisions that were active at that time. A second one, the Australian Mounted Division. We had the Australian Flying Corps. We had units of train construction, or railway construction, of water system and water sources development, medical teams, the Imperial Camel Corps Brigade. Yeah, complicated name, but still, there you are. All these included Australians, and they all had an incredible role in the taking over of that part of the world during the campaign. There were many sites throughout the country where Australians were involved. We have sites like this all over the country. We can find Australian places where battles took place a little bit north of Beersheba in the area of today, Kibbutz Lahav. We can find it at the area of Ashdod of today. We can find Australian involvement in the liberation of the areas of the Jewish colonies of Rehovot, Rishon LeZion, Nes Ziona, and so on. As a matter of fact, Rehovot became the headquarters of General Chauvel. And there's quite a lot of things going around this connection between Australians and the city of Rehovot. Further on towards Jaffa, towards the Judean hills, even there was a small force that was a part of the liberation of Jerusalem, the capture of Jerusalem, the 10th Light Horse Regiment. Further east towards Jericho and the Judean mountains, Judean desert. Further north towards the plains of Sharon, that will be already quite a bit later, almost a year later, when the great last offensive of the British forces, known as the Battle of Armageddon, takes place. There, the Australian cavalry took a tremendous role. Note that I was saying cavalry, and I wasn't saying light horse. It's interesting. The one thing the Australians demanded for that last phase of the war, we don't want to be light horse anymore. We want to be cavalry, which means training of swords and having swords attached also to their weapons. So in the last phase of the battle, actually the Australians were acting already as 100% cavalry. So much not the case a year beforehand at Beersheba, when this idea of them charging in such an incredible manner, not equipped and not trained as cavalry, and yet they've done an excellent cavalry job charging Beersheba and taking over the lines there. And the fact that the Australians take over Beersheba without that hesitation, that would be so understood, because it was really impossible conditions and the time pressure was so immense. And yet they, in such a brave way, broke through, took over, opening the gates for the whole British Army to move a bit up north. 2 days later, when the British forces, including the Australians, are already a few miles north of Beersheba, that's when we have the declaration of, the Balfour Declaration. And I think we can see how neatly it all fits up. I think the best way how to connect the events of Beersheba through the Balfour Declaration, going through the British Mandate, all the way to the partition plan, and to the establishment of the State of Israel, and to today, I think there's the line that connects us all.